Hello and welcome back to my stupid little channel. My silly little channel that I haven't posted a video on in months. It has been many months since I posted one of these videos because I am still on this 5-part series and I do intend to finish it. I've just been very preoccupied. Summer happened. I don't know what I did. I was sweating and mentally checked out, I suppose. And then I was working on a movie, and that was really cool. And then I've just been coasting. That being said, I'm kind of accepting that it is a little bit hard for me to sit and talk into a camera, even though the camera is my phone, you know what I mean. I do feel awkward on camera. I do feel awkward talking on camera. So I honestly have been although yes, I've been busy, I've been kind of putting this off, while also at the same time very much meaning to do it, if that makes any sense at all. But yeah, I felt like the most put together that I have in a long time today. So here we are. We're going to do part 4. We are going to do part 4 out of 5 of the Autism Terminology series. I was just looking over at the terms that I had written down for this video, because I have grouped them into 4 terms per video. And I think I might change it a little bit. I originally had written down ableism and infantilization as terms that I wanted to cover, although I think those are just pretty self-explanatory. Ableism is just discrimination against disabled people. And it kind of goes hand in hand with infantilization, because when autistic people are infantilized, that's kind of a form of ableism. And infantilization, again, is kind of self-explanatory. It's just treating a grown adult like a child, or treating somebody like they are younger than they are because you think that they are mentally not as old as they are, which that is just not true. But anyway, so those 2 terms, now that they're basically out of the way, I also had written down masking and double empathy problem, but I want to focus more on double empathy problem because I genuinely think I could do a whole other video just on its own about this concept. But yeah, first, masking. Most people already know what this is. It's very, very common in autism specifically, but it does apply to a lot of mental illness. Not that autism is a mental illness, but you know what I mean. Just, diagnoses, clinical diagnoses, psychological and neurological things. So, like, masking would be like if you were depressed and you were pretending not to be, that's masking. If you're acting happier than you are, like, in that sense, that is like a mental illness masking. For autism, it's different because, especially with late diagnosed people, like, a lot of us have kind of subconsciously learned to mask because of societal norms, to the point where, we go under the radar. People don't know that we are autistic because we are so well behaved, like, socially. Like, a lot of people are diagnosed younger if they act out, which I hate that, like, saying, but it kind of illustrates the point I'm trying to make here in this case. But yeah, masking is like, it still happens even after you're diagnosed, even after you know about it. It's essentially just a word for trying to fit in, trying to blend into your surroundings and behave in a socially acceptable way. Like, that's what masking is. So those are the 3 smaller things that I wanted to cover in this video. On to the double empathy problem, which I'm going to just shut the notebook and just talk from my brain at this point. I actually didn't end up reading any definitions off for those like I normally do because they are so succinct and easy to explain. However, double empathy problem. Okay, this is big. Actually, maybe I do need to read for this one because I think I have written down like a good explanation of what that is. I had a good definition for that. Because it is kind of hard to explain just from the get-go. Like, I'm good at elaborating on this, but I'm not good at introducing this. So, where did I write that down? Double empathy problem. Yeah. Okay, double empathy problem is a psychological and sociological theory first coined in 2012 by Damien Milton, an autism researcher. So that's one of those by autistic, for autistic people things that have been created, if you will. Like they said, the term was coined, or whatever you want to call it, as a way to better describe the autistic experience. That's what this whole terminology thing is. We try to explain things you have to call it something sometimes, when we're talking about a specific thing, we have to compartmentalize it and label it and talk about it in that way. And that's why I'm not anti-label, because it is very informative. All that being said, the double empathy problem focuses mainly on the difference between neurotypical versus neuroatypical communication. So it suggests that the autistic person is not bad at communicating in general, but that it is a relative thing that goes both ways. Sometimes a neurotypical person is, in a sense, not communicating well compared to the autistic person. Like, it's very, very relative and subjective, and that is the whole point of double empathy problem. And the reason it's called empathy problem, I think, is because something that could be really perceived as rude to a neurotypical, like if an autistic person doesn't mean anything bad by what they're saying, but a neurotypical person thinks, oh, that's supposed to hurt my feelings, like, why else would you say that? It can go both ways, where a neurotypical person offends an autistic person because of just the differences in how our brains work and how we think. And a lot of it also has to do with top-down, bottom-up processing, which, again, I could make a whole video about. But that all being said, I think I'm all talked out for this video, and I hope that made some type of sense to somebody. And I only have one more to go after this. The terms that are left at this point for this 5-part series is, I was going to talk next time about executive dysfunction, sensory seeking and avoiding, and stimming, and also like what inertia means for autism, the concept of inertia. So there's mostly been covered now at this point, and hopefully I don't take 4 months to make the next video. I probably won't, because I'm going to be at home during the cold months of the year, and I'm going to be just cooped up anyways, so I'll probably be back sooner than later this time. But, yeah, this is just going to get posted to my Facebook, because who else is going to watch at this point? And if you did watch this, I'm shocked, first of all, but also thank you for taking the time to see what I have to say in this very discombobulated, like, unpredictable series that I've been working on. I'm very still new to YouTube, and like I said, I've been kind of grappling with the realization that I'm not very comfortable talking on camera. I don't really know how to articulate that, so, but whatever, you forgive me, right? I am starting to get very awkward. Okay, let's wrap it up. We're done. We did it. See you next time. Thank you. Bye.